Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I am finally filming my living in India video, and I just don't know why it took me so long, but anyways, I'm filming it today. And yeah, so let's get right into it. Like I said in my last video, I went to India in 2011, I think it was. Yeah, it was 2011, and I was there for 2.5 years. I went there for school, undergraduate to be precise. Just filming a video to like just my experiences and how it was, and just in case anyone wants to go to India and doesn't know how it will be or things like that. You have different types of schools. You have the government ones, you have the state ones, and you have the private ones. The government ones are always bigger, and obviously it's like University of Bangalore is like massive. And then you have the private ones, which are also big but not as big as the federal ones. And then you have the state ones. They have little colleges that are under bigger colleges, bigger universities. For example, I studied in Bangalore, and there was a university called Bangalore University. So there were some other colleges that were in Bangalore, but they were not deemed universities. So they didn't have the license to give certificate. They wrote their exams with University of Liverpool. I say University of Liverpool, I mean University of Bangalore. So they wrote their exams like according to the University of Bangalore rules and all that kind of stuff, and the certificate will be issued. Yeah, I think the certificate is issued at the University of Bangalore. But in my case, I went to a private university. The name of my university was Christ University, and it used to be Christ College, but it was deemed a university like ages ago. So when I went, it was Christ University. So my certificate, or if I had finished there, my certificate would have said Christ University. If you want to apply, you can try applying to smaller colleges under bigger universities that will take you, because it will obviously be cheaper than going to a private university like I did, or going to bigger universities. With that being said, there are also state colleges, state universities that you can go to, and they will take you. In India is cheap. That's why people go there. I think that's one of the reasons why I went there anyways, because India was cheaper than every other school that I was looking for. So if you were looking to go to study abroad and you don't have enough money, I would say you should look into India, because India is cheaper to start off with. And if you go to India, that could be a starting point. Just like me, I went to India, and from India I was able to go to England, and from England and now in Canada. So in India isn't as bad as people think it is. It's really not that bad, but it's a starting point if you're looking to travel. In terms of studies in India is tedious, I won't lie. When I was in India, we went to school from Monday to Saturdays. Yes, girl. Monday to Saturdays, 9 to 5. On Saturdays, we closed at 1, I think. Yeah, it was half day. But on Monday to Friday, it was 9 to 5. And even 9 to 5, we had some elective courses that we had to take. And those ones are after school hours. So those ones they run from like 5:30 to like 7 or something. So yeah, and it was really tedious. You had to study, and just as you know, Indians are very bright students, so you need to keep up. You need to keep up with the pace, and things are taught really fast, because they expect you to know a lot of stuff. And as an international student coming from Nigeria, there were a lot of things that I didn't know, and I had to study first, because they were teaching us like we knew stuff, but I really didn't know. So I had to study those stuff first and then catch up with things like that, you know. So yeah, if you have a 4-year course, you get 4 years visa basically. But when I went to 2011, you had to apply 1 year, go in and extend your visa every year. When you get your visa and everything, when you get in, within 14 days you have to register with FRRO. You have to register and say, okay, I just landed, blah blah blah, and then they give you a paper. The paper is like a residence permit basically. Yeah, so that would last for as long as your visa would last. And then for us, for people who had to renew their visa, we had to go to FRRO every year to renew our status. But if you have it 3 years, I don't think you have to go back, except if you change your school. If you change your school, then you have to notify them and tell them that, dude, I changed my school. The meaning of FRRO that I've been saying is Foreign Regional Registration Office. So every city basically has one. So let's assume I get to India January 1st. You have to register before January 14th, including weekends. They are going to count the weekends too. Yeah, they do. Chop chop, get it together. Another thing that people always asked was, do you work? Nope. In India, I was not working. In India, international students are not allowed to work. That's one big ish that people need to know. And like I said in my last video, if money is a problem, then that might be a little bit of a hiccup. But I know that there are ways around it where you can work and, you know, get money. And like, life is hard out here on the streets, you guys, like, but I know that there are ways you can work and get money. Now, one other thing that I would say that is flipping important is to get vaccinated. Get a vaccination before you leave. If you're leaving from Nigeria, Ghana, wherever you are, and you're going to India, I would say you should get vaccination. Like the shots that they give you on your arms and stuff, I would advise you to do that, because you never know. You just never know. Don't just get a card, actually get vaccinated. Because first of all, you're going to another continent. It's entirely different. India is like here and Nigeria is like over there, so it's entirely different. Food wise, atmosphere, hygiene, like so many things are totally different, so you just get blown away. And in that process, you might get sick, you might get stuff from people, you might get stuff from food. Just even flying on the plane, the food they're going to give you on the plane might not be the food that you like. So in India, if you have a visiting visa, you can't change that to a student visa. Unlike here in Canada, if you have a visiting visa that is like 3 years and you want to do a course that's like 1 year, so when you come in, you can apply for a course. You can apply and change your status to student, and you just get a student permit. That's possible. But in India, it's not like that. You have to go back and apply for student visa, or if you want to do business, you have to go back and apply for business visa. You can't change your status when you're in India. I think except if you get married to an Indian. I think that's different if you get married to an Indian. In the case where you want to change your university or your course, yes, it's possible to change your university and your course. You can apply to one college and then you're like, I didn't know you were in a village. And I don't want to live in a village, I want to live in a city. Cool. That's your admission there. So far you haven't started or anything. They will probably, now some schools have restrictions. They'll tell you, oh, we refund only 60% of your school fees, or 40%, or whatever percentage they're going to take. So if you want to change your course, you have to consider that. Yeah, you have to consider that, because I know that even in UK, when you pay your acceptance fee, the acceptance fee isn't refundable. So even if you're going to change your school or change your course, no, changing your course is different because you're in the same school, but changing your school to another school, your acceptance fee is not refundable. So you might want to consider that. Now in India, you can travel. You can travel to any state, any province. You don't have any, so far you have a valid visa, residence paper and stuff, you can go anywhere. So far you're not going to Pakistan border, you're good. Yeah, so that's like the book version of this video. Now let's get down to it, down to the G, living in India. Actually, it has the good, the bad, and the gray area. Okay, for me it was good / middle gray area. I never saw like the horrible side. So living in India was good for me. I know so many people that would say otherwise because they had other experiences, and obviously every there's always a good and bad side of everything. There's always an advantage and a disadvantage. So for me, it was nice. I lived in a paying guest when I first got to India. It's called PG. It's hostel basically, but it was just not in school. It was outside school. And yeah, so I lived in a paying guest, and I was the only black in my paying guest. So I got to mix with Indians a lot. I ate Indian food. I spoke a little bit of Hindi, spoke in Indian accent, and yeah, it was really nice for me because of the ladies that I met when I was there, and I love them with all my heart. They are one of the best ladies I've ever met. They were not even in school or anything. They were like working and having the time of their life, but they like showed me around, you know, told me things, made me actually live in India, and just it was just not schooling for me. It was an experience, you know. Like people just, you know, people travel for different reasons. People want to see the world, or people just want to, you know, go on vacation and stuff. But I can say that I lived in India because I experienced India. I went to Goa, I went to Tamil, you know, I went to 2 Indian weddings, by the way. I went to Duga's wedding and I went to Preeti's wedding. Pretty cool, right? So I experienced 2 different weddings, and yeah, so it was really nice. And in school I met the best people in the world. They were like accommodating and stuff. I didn't really meet like horrible people per se in India. Like till today, the people I met in India are still my friends. Like they are my ride or die. Okay, they are just good people. I don't know what else to say. They're just nice to me, and just even thinking about it just makes me emotional because I miss them so much. And I hope I could go back one day and, you know, just hang out with them. For Nigerians who want to go, there are a lot of Nigerians in India. A lot of Nigerians. When I got there, I was shocked. Although the Nigerians in my school were not that much when I went, but in other schools and around the city, there were a lot of Nigerians. So that won't be too difficult to find like people to hang out with and stuff. I'm not a very social person per se. Like if I don't really know you like that, like I won't really like associate with you and stuff like that. That's just me. But I know people who were like balling. Then when it comes to religion, that's another thing, because in India, in Nigeria, like every 2 miles there's like a church and stuff. That's not in India. In India, every 2 miles there's a temple. Okay, a Hindu temple. You have to get accustomed to seeing the Hindu gods and all that, and you have to get accustomed with how they do their stuff. And if you're living with, like I was living with an Indian, this is like so funny. So when I first got to India, right, I didn't know that they didn't eat beef. Okay, so I had gala. Do you guys know gala? So I had gala that my mom packed for me. This was like 3 months in. I was already like talking to the people in my PG and just having fun. We were talking about Nigerian stuff, so I was like, oh, I have something from Nigeria and I want you guys to try it and tell me what you think, if you like it's really popular in Nigeria. So I brought it out and I gave it to all of them, people in my PG. I know Pi can remember this. So I gave it to everyone, and then they ate it and they were like, oh, it tastes so nice. Like, what is this? Is this dough and what? And then I said sausage, and they're like, did you just say sausage? I was like, yeah, sausage. So you like, all of them were like trying to get the wrapper and read what was on the wrapper, and then I think it said beef or something. I can't even remember, but I think it said beef. Yeah, I think it said beef. And then it was like a blowout. Like they were like spitting out, brushing their teeth and rinsing their mouth and stuff like that. I was like, oh, what is that? Like, they don't eat beef. They didn't eat beef and stuff. I was like, oh, sorry. Like, I didn't know that they didn't eat beef. So that was one of my haha moments, you can say, because I didn't know they didn't eat beef. And yeah, so even when cooking, I used to cook my beef or whatever. If I want to eat beef, I used to cook it when they were not home. So by the time they come home, it's gone, and you know, spray the house and whatnot. You just like, I was just respecting their space. There are sometimes that I had to cook when they were home and stuff, and you know, they were my friends, so they understood that I had to eat beef, even though you didn't have to eat beef, but I had to eat beef, and really there's nothing I can do about it. After we became friends, you know, like they understood that I had to eat beef and stuff, and I understood that they couldn't eat beef, so I just, you know, we just walked around it and stuff like that. And then another thing about India is every other month there is some celebration happening, there is some Hindu festival happening, there's some holiday happening, and you have to understand that. You have to probably, if you're living with an Indian, you have to respect that and all that stuff. If you're not living with an Indian, then it doesn't affect you at all. When my sisters came, my sister and my cousin, when they came and I had to move out of my PG, like those things didn't bother me anymore. Like if it was Diwali time, oh, it was Diwali time, oh, celebrate themselves, we eat sweets and people come, that's fine, you know. But if you're not living with them, it might not really affect you like that. But I was living with them and those things mattered, you know. Food is an important topic. Food, oh, when I first got to India, okay, it was hard. It was hard to find what to eat. In India, I never cooked. Nope. I ate pizza. I lived on Domino's. Like I was a shareholder in Domino's Pizza. If you're watching this and you're in India, you're in Bangalore, and you live on Hostel Road, SG Palia, you know the Domino's on that road opposite Forum? That was my jam. I used to eat there every day. I used to order from them. I used to call them every day. That Domino's sport was my sport. I used to eat there every day, every single day, and because there was nothing to eat, the gari I had finished in like a month or two. I had nothing to eat, so I had to do what I had to do, and that was all I ate. I ate pizza every day, almost every day for like straight 3 months. I was eating pizza every day. But then I met some Nigerians that, you know, showed me the way. And you can get frozen chicken though, but most chicken is like live. So you go there, they have them in like cages and stuff, like in a cage, like the way you buy live chicken in the market in Nigeria. Yeah, so you have them in the cage, and then you tell the guy how many, like you want half chicken, full chicken, quarter, whatever you want, and then they kill the chicken and cut it out for you. That's how it is. So yeah. And then when my sisters came, I had to move out of the PG, and then I moved into a 2 BHK, which is basically a 2-bedroom flat. And it was nice. We had a whole house to ourselves, and it was really lovely. Outside school and living with people that are your friends, you have people who don't really you have people who would be rude to you, who have people who will be racist comments and stuff. You would always have that. Those things are inevitable, I know. And then you have moments where people will ask you weird questions about where you come from, you know, your skin color or your hair texture. Things like that are inevitable. Like, I know that when I got to India, people ask me, why was my hair growing upwards? Why was it not growing downwards? You know, like, if coming from Nigeria, I'm like, what are you saying? Like, what do you mean why my hair is not growing downwards? Like, why is it growing upwards? Like, dude, that's an afro. You don't know what an afro is? You know, but they didn't know what an afro was. They didn't know what an afro was. And you can't blame them for not knowing. Just the way I didn't know who Duga was, what Diwali was. I never knew what Diwali was until I got to India. So it's like that. And I didn't take offense with it because I knew that they didn't know. Okay, so I just told them, oh, it's an afro. This is how my hair texture is. My hair texture is not straight. It's coily, 4C. That's my hair texture. However, even outside that, you still have people who would say stupid stuff. I know that one time I went to in India you have sweet shops, right? They sell sweets and cake and all this stuff. I remember one guy making a comment. I think this was me and Akshu. Was it me and Akshu or me and Pyle? I can't remember who it was, but it was me and someone from my PG. We went to get cake and someone passed a comment about me, about my skin or something like that. I can't really remember, and she went off on them, like she went ballistic on them, you know. And that was one of the moments I was like, girl, an Indian had my back. I didn't have to say a word. I didn't have to tell the guy like, what the fuck are you talking to, you know. I didn't have to say anything, but she had my back and she said what she had to say and we left. So there are moments like that that will come about, and you would have to defend yourself, or sometimes you just have to walk away and there's nothing you can do about it. It will happen. Trust me, it will happen. And you just, you know, you take it like a G. Still on the topic of religion, you have churches in India. Don't get me wrong, you have churches, you have Catholic, as you can name it. They are churches. As much as they are Hindu temples, they are churches too. There are a lot of churches. There's a Redeemed Church. Yes, there's a Redeemed Church in Bangalore. Shout out to my pastor. Finding a church won't be that difficult, and there are Catholic churches everywhere. Anglican churches are everywhere, so that won't be hard. Yeah, African the Nigerians that sell food, like, but it's like expensive. Okay, the money you need to buy the food, the African food, is almost enough to pay your rent. Because I was like, when I went to buy yam or something, like, I remember my cousin, she was like, oh, she wants to eat yam. Oh, I really want to eat yam. So she went to ask like how much yam was, and someone said it was like 1,000 or something, or 2,000 or something. I can't even remember how much it was, but I was like, why 2,000 rupees to buy yam? That's almost, at that time it was 1 rupee to like 3 naira. Okay, at that time. So I would spend 3,000 naira to buy yam. I didn't see any common sense in that. I didn't see any common sense in it, and I never ate yam when I was in India. Never. You get people to make your hair and things like that. You get them, but you have to pay through your nose. I know like you guys want to hear me speak in like an Indian accent. If you want to go to India, I would say that you should plan and make sure that you know that it's not the same like it is in Nigeria. It's different, very different. And I was asking myself, like, would I go back to India again if I had the chance? Yes, I will. Like, if you know me personally, you know that I love India. India is life to me. I would go back, but it's money. To go to India, it's a lot of money. Anyway guys, thanks for watching. If you made it to the end, thanks for watching. Yeah, so I will do my living in England video and living in Canada video sometime. I hope I was able to, you know, shed some light about India and everything else. So thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe and like the video if you liked the video, and bye.